It's early in the season indeed for such an enormous game. It's a match for money between TSV 1860 Munich and Leeds United. $25 million at the very least is the Champions League jackpot for the victors tonight. Well, no Ned Zelic in the 1860 lineup after he was sent off in the first leg, though Munich's other Australian, Paul Agostino, has made a flying start to the season in front of goal. And it's very much a makeshift Leeds United team, particularly in midfield, where teenager Danny Mills makes his first European appearance, while 19-year-old Matthew Jones has barely kicked a ball in over 8 weeks. Well, the injury time goal by Paul Agostino in the first leg in Leeds means that 1860 Munich find themselves in a pretty good position coming into the second leg, and Agostino found himself in a good position in the middle as well. And his diving header needed a very good save indeed from Nigel Martin. 1860 in the light blue shirts. Well, Leeds United have 6 first-teamers missing from this game. Bakker and Dacour both given red cards in the first leg a fortnight ago. In Leeds, they're suspended. Also, Harry Kewell, McPhail, Wilcox and David Batty also on the casualty list at Ellen Road. So David O'Leary has patched together a side here, particularly in midfield, where really only Lee Bowyer is a regular starter for Leeds in that area. 1860 forward. McLind out wide. Plenty of players behind the ball for Leeds, and that's a great layoff, and the shot really wasn't hit sweetly by Bodimordov. Micklund again. A good start for the home side. Hassler. Well, that's a good, strong challenge in midfield there, and Hassler just tugging on the arm there of the Leeds United player, Mills. What a quiet word from the referee from Denmark, Mr. Larsen, as we take another look at the challenge. Not too much in it, really. A bit of both from both players. It was just that after the challenge, the boot of Danny Mills was staying into the chest of Hassler, but the whistle had already gone. Mills forced to chase out wide again, but the ball runs out. Martin Max leading the attack, along with Paul Agostino tonight for 1860. The home fans, and there's plenty of them here. There's 45,000 in the Olympic Stadium tonight. Well, David O'Leary has said that if Leeds can go through into the group phase of the Champions League, it will be his greatest achievement as a manager in football. Such is the makeshift look about his side tonight. Michael Dewberry, normally a defender, pushed into midfield just to keep things a little bit tighter. And Mark Viduka and the in-form Alan Smith in attack for Leeds. But Mills forward from the right-hand side. This is a good run. And a very deep cross, and just coming in at the back post there was Lee Bowyer. Oh, and that's well stolen by Ian Hart. Players in the centre, Viduka was one of them. The cross just a little bit too high for Mark Viduka. Well, he applauds the ball in by Ian Hart. It was great work by the Leeds United fullback to steal possession in such a dangerous part of the ground. As Leeds move the ball forward for probably the first time in a game. Viduka beaten to the ball. Marshalled very closely by Stefan Paslak. Paslak, one of 6 players in this 1860 lineup that are over 30 years of age. And that's a fine ball. Bowyer free on the left-hand side. He's got his cross to the back post. Viduka was really crowded out, and that's deflected over the bar for a corner. Well, a good moment there for Leeds United. Viduka was at the back post, but there was a player on either side of him. No real chance for him to head at goal. And the shot came in and it was just deflected over the bar. Forward for Michael Dewberry. He's in the area. He's gone down. Well, the referee is going straight to Dewberry and saying, get on with the game and stop diving. But there was no yellow card given for the dive. As we take another look here. Well, certainly with the benefit of a slow motion replay, it looks like there was very little contact. But Michael Dewberry getting forward from midfield. Well, Leeds United are a club that have grown in stature since David O'Leary took over the management. They've always had very much a strained relationship, though, with Australian soccer, with their constant refusal to release Harry Kewell for international matches. And not so long ago, too, the club made very public their policy of signing young Australian players and asking them to refuse to play international football for Australia. Or was another Leeds player gone down in the area? Once again, the referee from Denmark is unmoved. Mikland in midfield. Hart first to the ball. Viduka's chasing. Well, the defence left it. And a nice save by the goalkeeper, Hoffman. Viduka, I don't think, could believe his luck there. The defence stopped and the goalkeeper hesitated. And the Socceroo got to the ball first. Well, Smith had given it up, the defender had given it up, but Viduka hadn't, and he got to the ball just before the goalkeeper. But Hoffman was right on top of the ball, and there was no real room for Viduka to aim for. And a real let-off there after a mistake at the back by 1860. That's a nice turn. And a strong challenge on the edge of the area, which could be further problems for Leeds United. Agostino slowly getting to his feet. Well, he'd eluded the tackle there that came in from Jonathan Woodgate. More work for England goalkeeper Nigel Martin, 33 years of age now, the Leeds United keeper. The elder statesman very much with the captain Lucas Radebe amongst this young Leeds side. They're fiery, they're precocious, they're very talented. David O'Leary says often that they're not quite experienced enough yet to win things. As Hassler's shot goes into the wall, Martin was diving for it. Thomas Hassler, who's had a tremendous career, the German international. "34 years of age now, Hassler. Seen the highs and the lows of German football on an international stage, and they couldn't get much lower than they are at the moment. They're at an all-time low, really, after finishing bottom of their group in Euro 2000. Criticised very much for fielding an ageing team, but there are no good young players being produced by German football at the moment. And Germany, of course, will play England in the World Cup qualifiers later on this year. This may be an early prelude to which way that game will go. One strongly in defence. Radebe there for Leeds. Mikland in very quickly. Radebe wins it back again. Oh, loose ball, Viduka. Well, his shot was way over the bar. Again, I think he was just a little bit surprised to be handed the ball after the mistake there by Bierovka. 23-year-old from Slovakia. Just look at this, straight to Viduka, and the goalkeeper well out of his goal, and he just snatched at the shot somewhat. That's a great run again by Hassler. An early ball from him. Agostino! Great save by Martin. Leeds still with some work to do at the back, and Dewberry helping out there. But once again, Paul Agostino is showing what great form he's in. He's well on the way to really cementing his place in this 1860 team. 3 goals so far this season, including the winning goal last weekend against Werder Bremen in the 81st minute. Well, instructions at the same time for Bodemirov as he's waiting for the ball. Bodemirov again. It's a deep cross, but it's an easy take for Nigel Martin. The rule changes for goalkeepers that we saw in Euro 2000 very much in play now in all the domestic leagues in Europe. 6 seconds the goalkeeper has to release the ball. This is a nice run by Stranzl from the back. Boya tracking back with him all the way, not clearing the ball convincingly. Micklin to Bodemirov, his shot is blocked. Hassler, Agostino moves to the far post. Well, that's just the sort of area really where Paul Agostino likes the ball. Well, this is the earlier move when Hassler got away from Mills, and the early ball in was to Paul Agostino. Took it on the run and took the shot with the left foot. Martin at full stretch, and the other defenders came in just to help him out. But Agostino looks capable of adding to the goal he got in the first leg. Oh, it's quite a throne that the 1860 coach Werder Laurent has there. Those coaches sit on the bench with the other players, but he likes to keep to himself, I guess. He's the German-born son of the famous Hungarian defender of the early 1950s and the wonder team of that era. Gyula Laurent was his name. Radaby back to Martin. Well, the 2-1 score in the first leg still stands, so at this stage anyway, Leeds United are going through to the group phase of the Champions League. But of course 1860 Munich only need a 1-0 win, and that will be enough to see them go through. Micklin, the Norwegian who joined this season, calling the shots in midfield. Hassler to Micklin. Very similar in stature and in style as well, Hassler and Micklin. All right on the edge of the area. Couldn't get any closer to the penalty area there. The foul by Michael Dewberry, and Thomas Hassler once again will step up and try his luck. Well, hanging on to the shirt, there's no doubt about that. It was Agostino who was fouled once again. Hassler over the ball. And that's a great try! Off the post from Thomas Hassler, with Nigel Martin absolutely beaten. Well, that is the end of the first half here at the Olympic Stadium, and Hassler could have seen 1860 go in with a very good lead, a brilliant strike. Agostino just watching by, and the coach trying not to look like it meant too much. It only hit the post, he said, no big deal. But he would love to have been talking to his players at half-time with a one-goal advantage, but the scores are locked. Both goalkeepers have had a bit of work to do in the first half. Agostino particularly to the fore for 1860 Munich. At half-time, though, it's 1860 0, Leeds United 0. Welcome back to the Olympic Stadium, a venue built especially for the 1972 Olympic Games, and it was the venue also for the 74 World Cup final, in which West Germany, as it was known at the time, beat the Netherlands by 2-1. But no goals so far here this evening, as 1860 make a good run down the right-hand side, but it's an easy cross for Nigel Martin. Neither coach made any changes at half-time, as Martin lofts one up to Viduka. It's a little bit of a mess as the ball, Viduka just helped it on to Alan Smith, and there's a goal for Leeds. And such a vital goal as well, because it's an away goal, and now 1860 need 3 goals to see off Leeds United here. And the run of goals for Alan Smith continues. It's his 4th of the season in just 3 games, but there didn't look to be too much danger. But the physical presence of Viduka shrugged aside one defender, 2 more came in. Still there was a loose ball, but he gets out of foot just there, poked it through the legs of the defender. Smith was waiting and he latched onto that and just calmly placed the ball past the goalkeeper. And that is an absolutely crucial goal for Leeds United, not just because of the result here tonight, but the club's financial managers will be rubbing their hands together with sheer delight. The windfall for clubs to be part of the Champions League is substantial. So now 1860 Munich must find 2 goals in this second half to force the game into extra time. They must find 3 if they're to close out the match in 90 minutes. Anything less will see Leeds United go through. Alan Smith challenging for that one. It really has been a great start to the season for him, a player who found the goals hard to come by in the latter half of last season. He was spoken to by David O'Leary before the season started and told to just temper his aggression somewhat after some disciplinary problems. Well, whatever O'Leary said has paid handsome dividends indeed. Smith, the form player in the club at the moment. Hassler leaves it for Mikland. Stranzel on the right-hand side. That's a nice ball in behind the defence, and Ian Hart caught out of position, and there's a great save by Martin, off the line by Mills, and away eventually. Well, Agostino is a real problem for Leeds United. That time the shot was well over the bar by Martin Max. Well, this was a great move. Agostino, first touch was a good one. On the volley was quite brilliant, but so was the save by Nigel Martin. And just look at this, Danny Mills placed on the goal line. Dewberry there as moral support as well. And Leeds United survive. And once again, Ian Hart caught out on that side. Agostino waits, he jumps for it. It was just taken off his head at the near post, but still the danger isn't over for Leeds. Well, this is real pressure coming in from the home side, and you can see that it's telling on the Leeds United coach, David O'Leary. O'Leary did say before the game that Leeds could not possibly win the Champions League. They're just not ready for it yet, but their aim is to qualify for the first phase and then come first or second in the group and go through to the second one, and he feels that that is a great achievement for the club. But in the second half, 1860 Munich have been very dangerous down that right-hand side. Agostino waiting in the centre, hoping to capitalise on a good cross. Micklin picks up the loose ball. That's a great little pass as well. Plenty of players forward, plenty of players back for Leeds. Viduka making up ground on the right, and it fell very nicely for Mills on the left. And that did not miss by much. Well, no Ned Zelic at the back for 1860 tonight, of course. The Socceroo, or should I call him the former Socceroo, because he has announced his international retirement. Suspended after a ludicrous red card in the first leg. The referee for that game was severely criticised for the 3 red cards. Eric Bakker and Olivier Dacour also being sent off for Leeds United. There's still plenty of quality on show. Little chip to the back post. There's Max. There's Agostino missing the overhead this time. A little clip to the back post, and Max was there, just Bob headed it back, and Agostino's a great athlete, really. I've already seen him have one flying volley saved by Nigel Martin. He just looks more confident as well. He looks self-assured, and really as though the self-belief is back once again after quite a lean spell in his career, really. Last season in Germany, where he scored just 1 goal for the season. Well, it's a Leeds throw. Well, Leeds United have signalled their high ambitions for the future by upgrading the contract of their most prized asset. That's Harry Kewell, rumoured to be earning around $70,000 a week in basic wages now, the Australian. As the shot comes in straight at Martin, and he made it look very easy. The ball sticking like glue to his gloves as Hassler rifled one in. Oh, Viduka's done well to steal the ball here. Still going Viduka. Just tried to pull it back to Alan Smith, who's found his way to the near post. And the news on Harry Kewell's Olympic campaign is that he will train once again at the end of the week to test that troublesome Achilles tendon. And the likelihood is that if he is found to be injured and unable to train, he will then have to pull out of Raul Blanco's Olympic squad, which will be a real tragedy for Blanco and Australian fans. And Bernard Winkler has come on for Stefan Paslak. There is talk of Kuhl needing major surgery for his tendinitis, and if that's the case, he won't be playing again until around Christmas or the early New Year. Viduka stretching, couldn't get to the ball. Mills winning it in the air. Still the home side hopeful of getting themselves back in this game, and that's a nice ball out to the left, but that's a fairly easy take for a goalkeeper like Nigel Martyn, and he quickly moves to the edge of the area, and that's a fine throw. Radaby. Viduka had just turned his back on the ball. Micklin takes over. Oh, what a mistake there. Into the area, Agostino again, and Martyn fumbled this one. Well, everything falling to Paul Agostino at the moment. Using his body very intelligently there, again on the left foot. Martyn couldn't gather it at the first attempt. He was always going to pick up the ball though, and the sliding challenge there came from the substitute Winkler. Well, look at the blood on the forehead of Nigel Martyn after that challenge. Maybe there was something in it. The referee will no doubt stop play very shortly for that, if he sees it, of course. Nice ball out wide to Bierovka, coming inside, touched on. Bierovka continuing his run. A nice idea, but Nigel Martyn just looks a mess, doesn't he, with that blood pouring down his face. Well, the Leeds United trainer will be on to sort that out, and because it's a goalkeeper, the game will have to be held up. Mills comes over just to check on his teammate and get a bit of hydration. Well, Leeds United very much in the driver's seat now as we move into the final stages of the game. They are 3-1 ahead on aggregate as it stands at the moment, as the Vaseline goes on to just stop the flow of the blood. It's not a pretty look, but it's effective. Martyn doesn't seem to mind too much. Well, that's the shot by Agostino, which Martyn fumbled, and in came Winkler, and that challenge there was the reason that Nigel Martyn has blood gushing out of his head. Well, most young footballers in Britain are fairly fashion conscious, and they like to put a bit of gel in their hair, but Nigel Martyn's gone a bit overboard, I think. We just sense now that the sting has gone out of the 1860 fight back. So second goal now for Leeds would certainly finish it off. A deflection. Well, just a little curler tried there. Matthew Jones, the 19-year-old Welshman, he's had one training session where he kicked the ball lightly just a couple of days ago, and he's been brought into the squad. Prior to that, he's been injured for the last 8 weeks. It shows you what disarray the Leeds United squad has been in because of their injury problems. A real risk by David O'Leary to play him. was an easy steal for Woodgate. Now, once again, down that right-hand side, there's real pace there for 1860 Munich. That cross is behind the goal, though. More changes from the 1860 bench. Coming on is Roman Titse, the Czech Republic international, replacing Daniel Birovka. And Gareth Edwards is coming on for the, not surprisingly, tiring Matthew Jones. Just look how young these players are, in contrast to the 1860 lineup, which has half a dozen players in their 30s. The Leeds United team has 3 or 4 teenagers in the lineup, a couple of 20-year-olds as well. Only Nigel Martyn over 30, along with the captain, Lucas Radeby. Hassler allowed to move forward till Radeby came out of the defence to challenge him. And this is the danger man for 1860 Munich on that right-hand side, since he came on as a substitute. Winkler. Mikland to Titse, takes the shot, good try. Well, Nigel Martyn had to watch it all the way. Roman Titse given instructions by his coach to shoot on sight by the look of things. It was a long way out. It was a great try as well, dipping just under the crossbar, but it was straight at the goalkeeper, which made it fairly straightforward in the end, really, for Nigel Martyn. Hassler to take the corner. Plenty of blue shirts in the centre waiting. And Gary Kelly doing the defending at the front post. Another corner for 1860. Easy one for Nigel Martyn. The whistle's gone for some reason. I'm sure Nigel Martyn would have rather have played on. Launched a quick counter-attack for Leeds United, but perhaps O'Leary's happy that just a few more seconds are used up. You wouldn't think they were losing, would you? That's the great support by this club. Very much the poor relation to Bayern Munich in Munich. Just one league title in their entire history for 1860. That was back in 1966. And if you're wondering why they've got 1860 in their name when there were no football clubs around at that era, it's because it was founded as a tennis club. And TSV in German means tennis sports club. That's great play. Smith's offside. Well, Mark Viduka and Alan Smith enjoying the fact that things have just slackened off a bit in terms of the attention from the 1860 defenders as more and more players push forward for goals. There's more space for Smith and Viduka. It's man-on-man at the back now for 1860. It's a good cross and Martyn comes off his line. Titse taking on 2 or 3 players there in a dangerous situation, and there's a foul. Oh, Martin Max, the number 9. Hassler likely to take the free kick, as we've seen already, and how well does he strike them? He hit the post in the first half. He needs to find the back of the net this time. Hassler over the ball. Oh, off the line! What a great strike again from Thomas Hassler. Well, there's the final whistle, and Leeds United move into the first round proper of the Champions League. The draw for the competition will be made this Friday in Europe, but just a great bit of defending there from Jonathan Woodgate. Right at the last minute, he ran back to the goal line and was positioned perfectly to save what would have just been a consolation goal for 1860, because Alan Smith's strike in the first minute of the second half was the all-crucial goal for Leeds United and David O'Leary. Just look at the smiles on his face. Well, is it the greatest achievement for him as a manager? He said it would be. Well, Mark Viduka and Harry Kewell will be playing on the biggest club football stage. It's finished 1860 0, Leeds United 1.